Hello you guys, all you youth groupers. Grumpy Chuck here, and I'm not really grumpy on this video. This challenge, if you want to call it that, was it just compelled me to make this video. The reason being is to share with you some of my youth group experiences many years ago, almost 40 years ago, when I was 14, 15, and 16 years old. My youth group experience not only changed my life at that time, it helped to mold my life into what it is now. And I really mean that. It really helped to mold my life. I'll give you a little background on my youth group. It was in Arlington, Massachusetts, and the reason I mention that is I just learned that ChristoferL is also lives in Massachusetts. It was almost like a 3-church youth group. It was called Tri-Cal. Tri because of 3, and because one church was called Trinity Baptist. My church at the time was called the Calvary United Methodist, and the third church was a tiny Episcopalian church. And we came together to form this group. And there was the assistant minister, if you want to, the assistant minister for Trinity Baptist Church. His name was Sheldon Hurst. And this guy, you know, in my life, he just came at the right time. Not only in my life, but I can speak for a few other members of the youth group. He came at the perfect time. Now this is in late 1960s. Don't start laughing, but it was the late 1960s. But you know, I was 14. You're 14 or 15. Hey, you know, come on, give me a break. This group changed my life at the time. It helped shape my life to what it is now. I call on experiences even now from that time to help me in my day-to-day life. And it's made me who I am today. It was a major contributing factor to who I am today. Just a couple of specifics. Yeah, you know, about twice a year, we would go to a place in Groton, Mass, called Grotonwood. You might want to take a note of this, Chris. That was a retreat. It was twice a year, a retreat, 4 or 5 days. That was intense, to say the least. It was intense because we were away from our families, and Sheldon had planned almost every moment that we were there for experiences that he believed, and now that I believe, were extremely important in how I am as a human being in general. This is a Christian camp. I'm not going to tell you my affiliations now with my religious affiliations, but it was a religious retreat, and it still is to this day. In my group, you didn't have to be Christian to belong or to come to the meetings. It was encouraged anyone who needed to come to the meetings, which meant that as time went on after we formed the group when I was 14 years old, that it swelled to a membership of sometimes up to 30 or 35 kids. We had a president, of which I'm proud to say I was president twice for 2 years. And the reason I brought up that you didn't have to be Christian, my friend who I brought in, who was Jewish kid, one of my best friends, was the secretary of it for a year. And so my job was to work with Sheldon while I was president to help form what was, or help, come up with the ideas of what was going to happen in it. My input was very important. Sheldon made it very clear that it was to be important. And my friends was to, keep minutes of the meeting, write a newsletter, blah, blah, blah. Now let's get down to the meat of the matter. My youth group taught me how to be a better person. It taught me to be more focused in what I did at school, focused with how I dealt with my family, how I dealt with friends, how I dealt with strangers. It taught me how to be more involved with the world, to try to understand things I didn't understand at the time, or didn't even care about, but how to be more involved with those people who are less fortunate, that need my help, and also how to understand other people's point of view when it didn't agree with mine, and my reaction to that. Because someone, and I call on this every day in my life, someone doesn't agree with my point of view, I can have a few reactions. I can be mean, I can call them names, I can, be a jerk, or I can try to understand their point of view to not only help them, but to help myself. It taught me to be more tolerant of people and ideas. It taught me that all men and women are equal on this earth, no matter where they come from, no matter what background they are, no matter what nationality, what race, what religion. It taught me that life really is what you make it. You can take an easy route, or you can take a harder route. And sometimes the harder route in this life pays off. My experience in my youth group had a profound effect on my life. And I don't use profound effect easily. So, in closing, and hopefully Chris will get a smile from this, and I'm saying this out of respect for Chris and out of respect for Christians in general, Happy Jesus Day. Grumpy Chuck, signing off.